In 1969, a confrontation broke out between the human scientists and the aliens at the Dulce Underground Lab. The aliens took many of our scientists hostage. Delta forces were sent in to free them, but were no match against the alien weapon. 66 of our people were killed during this action.
Welcome back. Back with another banger. It's the React Files, where we react
to the creepiest, craziest, scariest TikToks you shouldn't watch alone.
I hope you're having a good night. And I want to give a special thanks to all my new subscribers and everyone who's been liking the videos and supporting the channel. I want to give a sincere thank you. And if it's your first time here, take a second just to hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. That's what we're gonna do, y'all. Run these numbers up. That's right. Let's get straight to it.
Also, this map shows that Barbaria had islands. And are these points on the map ley lines? What an incredible map to look at. Obviously, an event took place very recently, definitely proving that we've had land here that is no longer here. These maps are so detailed, yet these places are no longer here. And we have this group on the map who are most likely a depiction of the barbarians. Oh, and should I tie it back in with the airships? Can we just zoom in? Right above this disproportionate guy with the red and green on? What is above his head in the sky? That wouldn't be an airship, would it? You tell me. And if anyone can read that in whatever language it's written in, I'd love to know what it says in the comments below. Now, I emailed this company that I'm gonna keep hidden, but with a little digging, we can all figure out who this is. But I emailed them, and they purchased the architecture firm Bradley & Bradley. Since they're an existing architecture firm, and it's not from thousands of years ago, they should have the construction photos of the National Guard Armory. But again, we are given another response that fits into what we're talking about here, that these are not the actual builders of these structures. If they built it, they would have at least one picture of construction somewhere in the world. But time and time again, as we have documented here so many times, they never have this on record. So they replied to me saying, "We acquired Bradley & Bradley, architects and engineers, in 2016, and I have not come across any construction photos from the National Guard Armory in their files." So they go on to say to contact the Rockford Public Library to see if they have it. And then 2 sentences later, saying that I believe this information is currently being held at the Hart Interim Library during construction of the new downtown library. So I'm going to be contacting them, and I'll keep you all updated on the situation as we continue on with it. If you're interested in hearing what we find, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Very interesting stuff. Yet another place that has zero confirmed documentation on these construction projects all over the world. It's very strange, and this is why we are looking into it, exposing something that was hidden for far too long. And for a bonus today, I have a lot of things that I want to share that I've found in my research, and I don't want to just brush over them, but I do want to share them with you all. I found this photo from Portland, Maine, of the old City Hall. In their newspaper from 1888, they wrote that it was built in 1825 and was used in 1832. So this was going on like 200 years ago, and you can see what they're all riding around on. They were able to build these kind of structures so fast, apparently, that after 63 years, this thing was so outdated and needed to be demolished. And it's interesting because this exact story is given to us all over the USA. And in all honesty, it's all over the world. It's weird how we were told that they lived in sheds, yet could afford to knock down relatively new structures like this. Oh, and we are told that they built this thing with a population of like 8,000 people. Like I said before, anyone on a horse, a donkey, and anyone who had a wagon, a shovel, or a chisel was born with incredible architecture skills in the 1800s. It's incredible stuff. And I know some of you have mentioned this topic in the comments below. Well, here is a conveniently half-destroyed photo from the 1904 World's Fair. And if we just zoom in a little, you can see what this exhibit was. And here's the description we are given. Served as a fair attraction and a working hospital. This is normal for a fair attraction? These fairs have a much darker purpose than what we have been told. Just read that last sentence. They were brought from hospitals to the concessions Well, they were brought from somewhere, and this is such a weird thing. Using common sense, how many mothers would allow their kid that is born early to leave the hospital to be, in their own words, an attraction at a fair? Let's use our brains a little now. These are not coming from the hospital, in my opinion. If you want me to get more into this, I will, but I think we get the point, that this was an operation to populate these cities again. And when did Ellis Island start taking immigrants? New Year's Day, 1892? Perfect time to start an operation. You don't find it odd that right around the exact same time period as these World's Fairs, you have these operations to refill the USA back up with a brand new batch of people? Now let's go back to the airships. Here's a photo from 1935, after they removed the airships from our timeline, and they were using the hangar for the airplanes now. And look at the size of this hangar, just to prove how massive these airships were in comparison. The amount of people that could have been on this airship were in the thousands. Here's a sketch of the interior of an airship, and you can see they were incredible. They had bedrooms, dining areas, all of the things that you would do if you were going to treat a society with respect, instead of our form of travel now, where we are all just jammed in next to each other and forced to suffer for hours. So I know this isn't a real photo, but honestly, who knows at this point what the previous civilization was capable of? What kind of things were in these airships that we aren't being told about? Water parks? Events? We know these airships were real. They were everywhere, and they were massive, and not a part of the narrative. They put the brakes on them really quick to trick our civilization into thinking that we're advancing into the airplane, when in reality, we had it made with the airship. Now, there are so many pictures of these vehicles all over the place, and they were definitely interesting to look at and wonder. So I want to make sure that I'm able to share these pictures here with everyone, so that you don't have to go on a scavenger hunt all over the place for them. And I want to make this point clear, if I haven't already. These airships predate the airplane, and they'll even admit it in the mainstream narrative, that the airship was supposedly invented in 1852, which is a lie. It was long before this, and we know that here. And the airplane, as we've covered, was handed over to us in 1903. So 51 years later, rapid speeds, new technology just flying at us, literally. The problem with the 1852 date is that we have depictions of airships that predate the 1800s by civilizations. Knowing this information frees your mind. You are able to think for yourself. You are no longer trapped in the ridiculous mainstream society game that just goes around and drives people insane. You can step back and enjoy your life, knowing you are important. Your life is much more meaningful. This place that we all live was filled with great technology. A civilization, in my opinion, that used free technology, possibly no debt, possibly a place where everyone was able to take the time to enjoy their lives, instead of working to struggle. Again, it's very important to know this, since we all live in this place, that 100% changes and forms through your thoughts, through all of our thoughts. And when you have a different level of knowledge, your thoughts change for the better. It's very important to know that you are important, and your life is much more meaningful than you were ever made to believe from day one. I mentioned on X a few weeks ago that I had something that is going to 100% destroy anyone's belief in the fake history that we've been told. I'll be putting that in episode 49. It's going to take the narrative and rip it right in half.
In 1969, a confrontation broke out between the human scientists and the aliens at the Dulce Underground Lab. The aliens took many of our scientists hostage. Delta forces were sent in to free them, but were no match against the alien weapons. 66 of our people were killed during this action. As a result, we withdrew from all joint projects for at least 2 years. A reconciliation eventually took place, and once again we began to interact. As far as I know, today we are interacting with the aliens. Now, I'm gone past my limit. I'm not going to infringe upon the other speakers. The text of my speech will be on sale outside. I only have one message to give you. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you call me. I do care what you do with this information because it is important to our survival as a species. It's important to our planet. It is important for the world. What happens to me is of no consequence, and I knew that when I started this. Over the last 17 years, I knew that someday I was going to have to get up and say this whether I wanted to or not, whether I was afraid or not. Now I am here, and now it is done. And I feel an overwhelming relief. You now have the information. You can laugh at it, you can throw it in the trash can. You can burn my house down if you want to. But I am telling you right now, your future, your children's future, your grandchildren's future depends upon what you do with this information. Your own government is selling your children drugs, and you don't seem to care. Your own government has given away the power of the people, and you don't seem to care. There is an apathy that is running rampant in this country that is deadly. Whether or not there are aliens. We are truly now at this moment a nation of sheep. And ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that sheep are always led to the slaughter. But it does not have to be that way. There is tremendous power in knowledge. There is also tremendous power in secrecy. Take away that secrecy, you make sure that you're informed, and you can change things and stop fighting with each other. Thank you.
That was pretty touching. And you could say he may have sounded crazy, but he had a large audience. Sounded like they gave him a standing ovation. To a degree, it was touching. You see what year he died, 2 months after a certain event happened. Do you think his death was a coincidence? Or let me know in the comments down below.
Normal light bulb, the one you use in the house, normal one. Moringa tree.
Yeah, Moringa tree.
Yeah, Moringa tree. What you must do, you must chip the Moringa tree so that the veins are visible of the tree. It's even wet. So now all you do, you can even charge your phones, charge everything. You see? Electricity. Just like that, Just like that. Nothing, no magic, electricity. Moringa tree.
There go another one. There go another example of trees giving off electricity. Man, I'm gonna take a selfie of me trying this experiment. I'm gonna chip the fucking tree. I'm gonna put the light bulb to it. I'll probably put it in the YouTube shorts. See if it really works. Or is it all cap? Let me know in the comments down below if you tried it.
The New World Order will fail! Can you believe people are sitting here thinking they're worshipping in a Christian church? That is awful, and the fact you're sitting...
His feet to see. I see him.
Molech. It's a religion that is actually at its very heart with the Jesuit conspiracies and secret societies. They're trying to break the veil. is actually a temple of the Antichrist.
First Jesuit Pope comes to the Jesuit General Congregation.
I've been misled, but I'm saying come out of her, my people. Because this is a masquerade that is leading to the Great Deception. On the surface level, it looks like a throne. It is the size of a giant, of a heavenly concept. This is representing a dead sheep. The sheep representing the Christians that aren't part of this big deception that is to come. Incense. Just like we're warned, you know, burning incense. Burning incense to Baal. It seems like everything that's done here is in some way a direct inversion or blasphemy of what we're warned against.
Because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents.
Man, that was creepy as hell. I don't know what it was about it. What you think about that? I'm gonna need more proof. I've heard of movies talking like that. You know, that Tom Hanks shit. What, the Da Vinci's Code? That's what it's called. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below.
What do you mean there is tunnels, roadways, stations, cities and subways built into the mountains? I never knew this, so it can't be true. My local news never mentioned this.
This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. Goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? Miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea? Yeah, okay. Yeah. 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 I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh? Yeah. We deliver to them. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate it. I heard there's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable. You don't get no cell phone. No. Peace, brother. Basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. You know, they're stopping all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads, and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this is a strategic location, which is really the new command center for the Illuminati. Forget the United States government. This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. When they go underground, they can stay underground for quite some time. And this is stocked with food, water, everything they need. It's an underground city. So this is the north entrance, and we're going to go see if we can do some more digging.
Talk about the longest tunnel ever. That's crazy. Like, I can't even wrap my head around it. It didn't hit me until I seen the semis parked. And if you ever stood next to a semi, you know it's pretty big, especially when you're driving. But the amount of space that was above that, it's like, holy shit. Talk about whistleblowing. Boy. Let me know in the comments down below. What y'all think?
Pay attention, America, especially if you live in New York City, because they just passed legislation on 2.13. Google it. New York 2.13. This article was published on November 22nd, 2023 by Armstrong Economics, and it was put up on LinkedIn. You guys can find this article very easily. This article on 2.13 is stating that the government now has legal authority to remove residents from their homes and force them into quarantine camps. There is no age restriction. Children can be removed from their homes without parental consent. They do not need to warn citizens when they are coming or how long they must be quarantined. You will be required to take any steps the state mandates, including taking medications against your will. There is no due process, no court hearing, and no rule of law, as the government may now abduct citizens in the name of public health. It goes on to state, you may not even take a test to determine if you are sick. The state has full authority over you and your body. This is one of the most restrictive and oppressive pieces of legislation to pass in U.S. history and nullifies our freedoms. There is one last chance to save New Yorkers, and that is the Court of Appeals. If they can do this in New York, they can do it anywhere. We must raise awareness of what is actually going on before it's too late. Do you understand what that legislation is saying? That they can kidnap you, break into your home just because they think you're sick, and put you in a quarantine camp and force you to take medications against your will. Does that sound like freedom to you? Because to me, it sounds like a dictatorship where they can come in and remove you or your children and force you to do things against your will because they think that you are sick. My fellow Americans, we need to stand up and stop this legislation. We need to stand up and come together and take back our freedom and our liberty in this country. It's up to you to do the right thing, because government is going to continue to push its will on the American people. And if you don't stand up and fight, all hope is lost in this country. Google New York 2.13 and read the article for yourself, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We need to stand up. Vote for Anthony Hudson and vote for your freedom, because as Americans, we deserve better. Now's the time. Enough is enough. Stand up, fellas. Do what's right.
Hey, to all my New Yorkers, is this a real thing? They said they posted on LinkedIn. Shit, I don't know nobody on LinkedIn like that. Shit, another way to slip it on by. Man, if you ever heard of this, let me know in the comments down below.
A good listen.
And we're very excited about having found this, what they term Planet X. X is a Roman numeral for the number 10, meaning the 10th planet in the universe. They were very excited to discover it on December 31st, the year 1983. But suddenly, the chief scientists of the infrared astronomical satellite system that sent this thing into deep space, and they sent back pictures of it, and they released it to 6 of the top daily newspapers around the world. Suddenly the government came in, started putting a lid on all this information. But now we find out just on the week of January 7th, the year 2002, that all of a sudden they're squashing all of this information and keeping it from the public. They said that it was an asteroid when finally they began to admit that it was there. But now in Newsweek magazine they actually show it with a reflection, because now any astronomer on Earth can get a picture of it. And so, the year 2002, January 7th, they finally admitted there is another planet, and it's heading toward the Earth, between the Earth and between the Sun. And it will displace the gravity of the Sun temporarily as it passes by, just as it did in the days of Peleg.
TikTok, that was William Cooper that was speaking and giving us the information in regard to the discovery of Planet X in 1983. He mentioned a newspaper article that was released, and eventually they put a lid on it, right? They covered it up. I found that newspaper article that he was talking about. He says that I believe there was 6 that was put out, but I happened to track one down, and I'm gonna go ahead and play that video for you now. There was a gentleman who actually posted a video like 10 years ago, and I referenced it, and I'm gonna share that that video where the gentleman actually shows us a newspaper article and he begins to discuss it. Check this out.
Mystery heavenly body discovered, possibly as large as Jupiter, by Thomas O'Toole, Washington Post staff writer, December 30th, 1983. A heavenly body possibly as large as the giant planet Jupiter, and possibly so close to the Earth that would be part of the solar system, has been found in the direction of the constellation Orion by an orbiting telescope aboard the U.S. infrared.
Real quick, I used to have a friend. He used to talk about this planet all the time. Never believed him, never gave it no thought. Now, it's 2023 and I'm hearing so much shit about it. It's like, oh shit. Right? Pretty much how I'm sure I be sounding to the people, right? I start talking about my shit. So yeah. But yeah, very interesting that out of 6 copies, they found 1. Let me know in the comments down below. You think that was the real thing? Was that a real copy, or was it just Photoshop bullshit? Let me know.
There's someone hiding under there filming. There's someone hiding under there filming me.
Lock the door?
In there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a man.
It's a man?
Yeah.
I'll give it.
I don't know. Are we on lockdown?
I'll give it.
In there? Right there. Okay, why don't we do this?
He was filming me.
Housekeeping, can you open up the door,
It's a guy in here that was just...
Open up the door.
Okay. Okay.
You need to call security because he's an employee. He was filming? Yeah. No, I just opened up the bathroom right now. I didn't know. I just saw a camera pointing at me. See if you can get the guys in.
Now that's creepy as fuck. Straight up. Couldn't imagine some shit like that. And he was an employee? Man, that's some crazy shit right there.
The truth is you're not going to be a naval intelligence officer unless you are a Freemason or a member of the Ancient Order of the Rose and Cross, but you have to be high degrees for that. I think the reason I was selected as a enlistment is because I had belonged to the Demolay Society.
Which is what?
As a teenager. That's sort of the first level of Freemasonry. That's how they recruit teenagers and indoctrinate them into their principles so that they go right into Freemasonry when they become an adult. So basically that's the story. And what these people are doing in secret is just absolutely incredible. I also saw documents under an operation called Operation Majority, which outlined the plans to bring together a one-world government. It also included extraterrestrial information within that. Project and what these people are doing in secret is just absolutely incredible. I also saw documents under an operation called Operation Majority, which outlined the plans to bring together a one-world government. It also included extraterrestrial information within that. Project Grudge, which was the second project. First was Sign, and then Project Grudge, which contained all of the extraterrestrial information up to a certain point. I forget the year cutoff. And then it was contained after that in another project called Project Aquarius, which was the accumulation of the whole history of alien interaction on planet Earth. But I have to say at this point that I don't know if those documents were really telling the truth or not. They could have been showing me these things so that eventually I would go out and talk about this. And maybe that'll become clear to you later why they may have done that.
What is Will Smith trying to tell us?
At the White House with my family, and we were getting a tour, and Barack and Michelle and Sasha and Malia. Nice. And it's me and Jada and the kids, and we're walking through the White House. And the night before, Jaden had said to me, "Dad, I got to ask the president about the aliens." I was like, "Jaden, do not ask the president." So we get into the Situation Room, and Jaden says, "Excuse me, Mr. President." And I was like, "Hey, Barack, man, hey, listen, Jada." And Barack said, "Don't tell me." And in perfect form, like this is why he's the president, he stopped and looked at Jaden and said, "The aliens, right?" And I was like, "Oh, shoot." And he said, "Okay, I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of extraterrestrials, but I can tell you if there had been a top secret meeting, and if there would have had to have been a discussion about it, it would have taken place in this room." You should look into this. You gotta find out. Come on, man. Do you want to find out? Listen, here's the deal. Aliens. I know. I have the top secret information. I just can't share it. You don't think I've made all of these movies?
Why do you think you're so comfortable here? Just about everybody works in a post office as an alien.
And not been briefed by the White House.
It makes sense now.
Of course. I know, I just can't tell you.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to hit that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.